I now offer another solution for this problem. We can treat this as a Diophantine equation by rewriting it as 2x plus 3y equals 1 plus 7k. Of course, you want to first solve 2x plus 3y equals what? Because 1 is the greatest common divisor of 2 and 3. And just by observation, 2 times negative 1, this is 1, right? So just by observation, this is pretty easy to see. And now we multiply both sides by 1 plus 7k. We have now 2 times negative 1 minus 7k plus 3 times 1 plus 7k equals 1 plus 7k. We want to find the general solution for x, which is negative 1 minus 7k plus 3n. And for y is going to be 1 plus 7k minus 2n. K is an integer. And keep in mind, x and y, they should be a number from 0 to 6, should not be larger than 7. If it's larger than 7, we just mod 7, right? So therefore, we now have just try different values. So let's begin with k being 1. So I'm going to say k equals 1. I was make sure that we want xy to be less than or equal to 6, greater than or equal to 0. So when k is 1, your x is 1 minus 7, negative 1 minus 7 plus 3n, which is negative 8 plus 3n, and y is 1 plus 7 minus 2n, which is 8 minus 2n. And then you try different n values. Now, when n is 1, x is equal to negative 8 plus 3, actually it's negative 5, and mod 7, that means this is congruent to 2. And y is equal to 8 minus 2 times 1, which is 6. So in other words, this is the solution, 2 and 6. When x is 2, y is 6. This is my first solution. And then let's just continue this pattern. When n is 2, this is negative 8 plus 2 times 3 is 6, which is negative 2. Negative 2 is congruent to 5 mod 7, and y is 8 minus 2 times 2, so which is 4. In other words, 5, 4 is another solution. When n is 3, x is congruent to negative 8 plus 3 times 3, which is 9. So this is congruent to 1, right? And for y, it's going to be 8 minus 2 times 3, which is 6. So 8 minus 6 is 2. Therefore, your next solution is 1 and 2. Now when n is equal to 4, x is congruent to negative 8 plus 3 times 4, which is 12. And this is congruent to 4. And what is y? Y is congruent to 8 minus 2 times 4. Then you get 0. So therefore we have another solution for 0. When n is 5, and then x is congruent to negative 8 plus 3 times 5. So 3 times 5 is 15, 15 minus 8 is 7. So therefore, which is congruent to 0. And for y, 8 minus 2 times 5, which is congruent to negative 2. 8 minus 10 is negative 2. Negative 2 is congruent to 5. Therefore, 0, 5 is another solution. When n is 6, x is equal congruent to negative 8 plus 3 times 6 is 18. This is congruent to 10, which means 3. Y is congruent to 8 minus 2 times 6, so 12. 8 minus 12 is negative 4. Negative 4 is congruent to 3, so therefore 3 and 3. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are expecting 7 different solutions. Therefore, you want to go one more. When n is 7, x is congruent to negative 8 plus 3 times 7, which is 21. And this is congruent to 13. 13 is congruent to 6 mod 7. And y is 8 minus 2 times 7. And this is congruent to 8 minus 14. And 8 minus 14 is negative 6. Negative 6 is congruent to 1 mod 7, right? So therefore 6, 1 is the last solution.